Kioma and Anita were best friends, very close friends. Everybody in their street knew them.
If you saw Kuruma, Anita was nearby. They cooked together. They danced together.
They even shared clothes. People smiled whenever they saw them, but they were not sisters. They were only best friends. Anita was kind and gentle. She spoke softly. She helped people. Even small children loved her. Kioma was beautiful too, very beautiful. She loved expensive things, long nails, shiny bags, big wigs, nice perfumes, and she loved attention, lots of attention.
One sunny evening,
Anita invited Kioma
to a restaurant.
Come, oh, Anita said happily on the phone. Daniel wants to see us.
Kioma smiled.
Your rich boyfriend again.
Anita laughed. Yes, now, hurry up.
Kioma reached the restaurant.
The place was beautiful.
Soft golden lights glowed everywhere. Sweet music played quietly. People laughed softly while eating expensive food.
Then Kioma saw them, Anita and Daniel. Daniel said warmly,
You are welcome. Daniel was handsome, tall, dark, clean beard, expensive watch, expensive perfume.
Even his smile looked rich. Kioma's heart skipped a little. Anita hugged Kioma happily.
You look beautiful. Kioma smiled softly.
But deep inside, something moved slowly in her chest.
Jealousy.
The waiter brought food. Baked chicken, rice, drinks, ice cream. Daniel kept smiling at Anita lovingly.
Baby, he said softly, I have a surprise for you next month.
Anita's eyes widened. A surprise? Daniel nodded proudly. Yes.
What is it? Anita asked excitedly.
Daniel laughed. No, I won't tell you.
Anita playfully hit his shoulder. Kioma watched them quietly.
Then slowly, her smile disappeared.
That night, Kioma lay
on her bed staring at the ceiling fan turning slowly,
round and round.
Her room was dark.
Only the light from her phone shined on her face. She opened social media.
Then her eyes widened.
Anita had posted a new video.
Daniel bought her a brand new car, a shiny car.
Anita screamed happily in the video.
Daniel sprayed money
on her head while laughing.
Thousands of comments filled the screen.
Good win.
Couple goals. Beautiful people.
Kioma sat up slowly.
Her breathing changed.
Tears filled her eyes. She whispered. She threw the phone angrily on the bed. Her chest rose up and down quickly.
I deserve this life. Outside her window, thunder rumbled softly in the sky.
Boom.
Kioma looked outside slowly.
Rain had started falling. Slowly.
Quietly. Something about that moment felt strange. Very strange.
The next morning, Kioma
visited her aunt in Ngozi.
In the village, the old woman sat
outside peeling corn quietly. The moment she saw
Kioma's face, she frowned.
What is worrying you?
Kioma sat down slowly.
Nobody understands me,
she muttered. Her auntie kept watching her carefully. Talk to me.
Kioma looked away. There is a man I want.
The old woman became quiet. Does he belong to another woman?
Kioma nodded.
Her auntie sighed deeply.
You are walking toward danger. Kioma looked up quickly. But I love him.
No, the woman said calmly.
You love his money.
Kioma became silent. The old woman leaned closer.
There is somebody who can help you.
Kioma's heartbeat jumped. Who? Her auntie lowered her voice. A powerful native doctor. Immediately, cold wind blew across the compound. The trees moved strangely.
Kioma looked around nervously.
Auntie, the old woman stood up slowly. If you truly want this man, she pointed toward the forest far away.
Follow me tomorrow night.
The next evening, Kioma followed her.
Auntie deep into the forest.
The night was dark, very dark. Crickets cried loudly everywhere. Bushes moved softly.
Kioma held her handbag tightly.
Auntie, I am scared. Keep walking, the old woman replied.
Suddenly, an owl screamed loudly from a tree.
Who? Kioma jumped in fear. Chen. Her auntie kept walking, without turning back. Soon,
they reached a small mud house covered with red cloth.
Smoke floated into the night sky.
Candles burned outside.
Animal skulls hung from sticks. Kioma's body became cold immediately. The next evening, Kioma followed her.
Auntie deep into the forest.
The night was dark, very dark. Crickets cried loudly everywhere. Bushes moved softly.
Kioma held her handbag tightly.
Auntie, I am scared. Keep walking, the old woman replied.
Suddenly, an owl screamed loudly from a tree.
Who? Kioma jumped in fear. Chen. Her auntie kept walking, without turning back. Soon, they reached a small mud house covered with red cloth. Smoke floated into the night sky.
Candles burned outside.
Animal skulls hung from sticks. Kioma's body became
cold immediately. Then she saw him.
The native doctor.
An old skinny man sat quietly outside.
White jaw covered his face. His eyes looked dark and frightening. Before Kioma spoke, the man smiled slowly.
You want somebody's man. Kioma froze.
Her mouth opened slowly.
How? How did you know? The old man laughed softly.
I see many things.
His voice sounded deep, almost unnatural.
Kioma sat down carefully.
The old man stared deeply into her eyes.
You are jealous of your friend. Kioma looked down in shame.
The old man brought out a calabash.
Inside it was thick red liquid. The smell was terrible. If you use this charm, he whispered, the man will love only you. Kioma's eyes widened. Really?
The old man nodded slowly.
But listen carefully. The candles suddenly flickered violently. The forest became strangely quiet. Even the crickets stopped crying. This charm will not last forever. Kioma frowned. What happens when it ends? The native doctor stared at her silently.
Then slowly, he smiled.
When darkness expires,
his voice became deeper.
The hidden truth will wake up.
Cold fear entered Kioma's chest.
For 1 second,
she wanted to leave, but then she remembered Anita's car,
Anita's happiness,
Anita's rich boyfriend, and jealousy swallowed her heart again.
I will do it. The native doctor poured
the red liquid onto Daniel's picture. Smoke rose slowly into the air. Then he started chanting strange words.
Suddenly, the candles burst higher. The old man smiled. It is done. After that night, everything changed. Daniel suddenly became cold toward Anita.
Very cold.
He stopped calling her often,
stopped smiling around her, stopped saying I love you.
Anita became confused.
One evening, she sat crying quietly inside her room.
She called Daniel again. Daniel, she whispered weakly.
Did I do something wrong?
Daniel sounded irritated. I said I need space.
Anita's eyes filled with tears.
But you've changed. I'm busy. Daniel snapped before ending the call. The room became silent. Anita slowly lowered the phone.
Then tears rolled down her cheeks.
Meanwhile, Daniel started spending more time with Kioma,
buying her gifts, taking her to expensive places, calling her every hour.
Kioma smiled proudly. The charm was working.
One afternoon, Anita visited Kioma crying badly. I don't understand, Anita sobbed. Daniel barely talks to me anymore.
Kioma pretended to look shocked.
Maybe he is stressed. Anita wiped her tears. I love him so much. Kioma hugged her tightly.
It will be okay. But while hugging her, Kioma smiled secretly.
Daniel broke up with Anita.
Anita's world shattered completely. But the biggest shock came 1 week later.
Daniel announced Kioma as his new girlfriend. Everybody became shocked. People talked about it.
What kind of friend is this?
Anita cried heavily when she saw them together.
You, she whispered painfully.
My own best friend.
Kioma folded her arms proudly.
Love happens. Anita looked at her like her heart had broken into tiny pieces.
You betrayed me.
Then slowly,
Anita walked away crying. From that day,
nothing remained the same.
At first, Kioma felt happy, very happy.
She had the rich boyfriend now.
Luxury life,
money, attention,
everything she wanted. But slowly, something strange started happening.
Daniel became obsessed, very obsessed. If Kioma smiled at another man,
Daniel became angry.
If she stayed outside too long, Daniel shouted.
One night at a restaurant, Kioma laughed at a waiter's joke.
Suddenly,
bam, Daniel smashed a bottle on the table.
Everybody screamed. Why are you smiling at him? Daniel shouted angrily.
Kioma's body shook. Daniel calmed down. His chest moved heavily. His eyes looked strange.
Then suddenly,
he looked confused, like somebody waking up from sleep. What happened? He whispered softly.
Kioma became afraid, very afraid.
The strange behavior became worse every day. Sometimes Daniel woke up screaming at night. Sometimes he stared at Kioma silently for hours. One midnight, Kioma woke slowly. The room was dark.
Then her eyes widened.
Daniel stood beside the bed, watching her silently.
Moonlight touched half of his face.
His eyes looked empty. Daniel, she whispered fearfully. Slowly,
Daniel spoke.
Why did you do this to me?
Kioma's heart nearly stopped.
What are you talking about?
Daniel grabbed his head painfully.
My mind feels trapped. Kioma started shaking.
Then one terrible evening, rain poured heavily outside.
Thunder exploded across the sky. Boom.
Kioma received a call.
The native doctor was dead. Immediately,
fear entered her whole body. That same night, Daniel walked into the living room slowly.
He looked confused, very confused.
Then his eyes landed on Kioma.
What are you doing here?
Kioma froze.
What? Daniel frowned deeply. Why are you inside my house? Kioma's body became weak. Daniel stopped joking.
Suddenly, Daniel grabbed his head.
Memories rushed back into his mind.
Anita.
Their love.
The breakup.
Everything. His eyes widened in horror.
Oh my God.
Kioma burst into tears.
Daniel, please listen. You used something on me.
No, you destroyed my relationship.
Kioma cried loudly.
I love you. Daniel's face became cold.
No, he said quietly.
You only wanted what was not yours.
Then he walked away.
In the morning, Kioma ran after him into the heavy rain.
Daniel, please.
Rain soaked her body. Thunder shook the sky again.
But Daniel never turned back. Never.
The next morning, Kioma rushed to Anita's apartment crying badly. Knock, knock, knock. When Anita opened the door,
Kioma fell to her knees immediately.
I'm sorry.
Anita looked shocked. What happened to you?
Kioma cried uncontrollably.
I used juju on Daniel.
Silence. Complete silence. Anita stepped backward slowly. You what?
Kioma nodded through tears. I was jealous. Anita's eyes filled with tears immediately. You were my best friend. Kioma cried harder.
I know.
Anita shook her head painfully. You didn't just steal my boyfriend. Her voice broke.
You destroyed our friendship.
Kioma lowered her head in shame.
From that day forward,
Daniel never returned. Anita later forgave Kioma, but their friendship never
became the same again. And Kioma finally
learned something painful. Anything collected through darkness
will someday break apart in the light.